Have you ever wondered why we behave the way we do? Why certain words or actions can change the entire course of a conversation, or even a life? As we embark on this journey together, I invite you to open your mind to the fascinating world of psychology and the profound impact it has on our daily lives. Picture this: you're standing in a crowded elevator, facing the doors like everyone else. Suddenly you turn around to face the back wall. What do you think would happen? In a famous psychological experiment, researchers found that one person faced the wrong way in an elevator, others would unconsciously follow suit. This simple act demonstrates the powerful influence of social conformity on our behavior, even when it goes against our natural instincts. This is just one example of how psychology shapes our world in ways we often fail to recognize. Today, we'll explore 6 mind-blowing psychology hacks that everyone should know. These aren't just tricks or gimmicks, they're windows into the very essence of human nature, offering us profound insights into why we think, feel, and act the way we do. As we delve into these psychological phenomena, I want you to consider how they might apply to your own life. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you struggled to communicate effectively? Or perhaps you've wondered why some people seem to have an innate ability to influence others. These are the kinds of challenges that our exploration today will help address. But before we begin, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on this question: how well do you truly know yourself? It's a deceptively simple question, but one that has puzzled philosophers and psychologists for centuries. As we journey through these psychological insights, you may find that your understanding of yourself and others begins to shift in unexpected ways.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Now, let's embark on our exploration of the first mind-blowing psychology hack: the power of mirroring. Have you ever noticed how you unconsciously mimic the body language of someone you're talking to? This is mirroring in action, and it's a powerful tool for building rapport and connection. When we mirror someone's posture, gestures, or tone of voice, we're sending a subconscious signal that we're in sync with them. This creates a sense of familiarity and trust, making the other person more likely to feel positively towards us. But mirroring goes beyond just physical imitation. It can also involve matching someone's energy level, speaking pace, or even vocabulary choices. Consider this scenario: you're in a job interview, feeling nervous and unsure. The interviewer leans forward, speaking in a calm, measured tone. By consciously mirroring their posture and speech patterns, you can create a sense of harmony that may help you feel more at ease and perform better. But here's where it gets really interesting: mirroring isn't just about influencing others. It can also affect our own emotions and attitudes. When we adopt the body language of confidence, standing tall, shoulders back, chin up, we actually begin to feel more confident. This is the essence of the famous power pose research, which suggests that our physical posture can influence our mental state. So, the next time you find yourself in a challenging social situation, try subtly mirroring the person you're interacting with. But remember, the key word here is subtle. If your mirroring is too obvious, it can come across as mocking or insincere. The goal is to create a sense of unconscious harmony, not to mimic like a parrot. Now, let's move on to our second psychology hack: the power of active listening. We often think of listening as a passive activity, but true listening, the kind that builds deep connections and understanding, is an active process that requires full engagement. Active listening involves more than just hearing the words someone is saying. It's about fully focusing on the speaker, understanding their message, and responding thoughtfully. This means putting aside our own thoughts and judgments and truly trying to see the world from the speaker's perspective. One powerful technique in active listening is paraphrasing. After someone has spoken, try restating what they've said in your own words. This not only shows that you've been paying attention, but it also gives the speaker a chance to clarify any misunderstandings. For example, you might say, "So what I'm hearing is that you feel overwhelmed by your workload. Is that correct?" But active listening goes beyond just the words. Pay attention to the speaker's tone of voice, their body language, and what they're not saying. Sometimes, the most important part of a message is hidden in these non-verbal cues. Here's a challenge for you in your next conversation. Try to listen with the intent to understand, not to respond. So often, we're just waiting for our turn to speak, formulating our response while the other person is still talking. But when we truly listen, we open ourselves up to new perspectives and deeper connections. Think about a time when you felt truly heard and understood. How did it make you feel? Valued, respected. Now imagine being able to create that feeling for others in your life. That's the power of active listening. Our third psychology hack delves into the fascinating world of cognitive biases, the confirmation bias. This is our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. The confirmation bias is a powerful force in shaping our worldview, often without us even realizing it. We naturally gravitate towards information that supports what we already believe, and we tend to dismiss or ignore evidence that contradicts our views. This can lead to a reinforcement of our existing beliefs, even if they're not accurate or beneficial. For example, if you believe that a certain political party is corrupt, you're more likely to notice and remember news stories about scandals involving that party, while potentially overlooking similar stories about other parties. This selective attention and memory creates a self-reinforcing cycle that can be hard to break. But here's the mind-blowing part: understanding the confirmation bias can actually help us make better decisions and have more open-minded discussions. By being aware of this tendency, we can consciously seek out information that challenges our beliefs. We can ask ourselves, what evidence would I need to see to change my mind on this issue? This doesn't mean we should abandon our beliefs at the first sign of contradictory evidence. Rather, it's about cultivating a habit of intellectual humility, recognizing that our views might be incomplete or incorrect, and being open to new information. Here's a profound question to ponder: how might your life be different if you actively sought out perspectives that challenge your existing beliefs? What truths might you discover? What prejudices might you overcome? As we move into our fourth psychology hack, I want you to consider the power of framing. This is the idea that how information is presented or framed can significantly influence our decisions and perceptions. Framing is all about context. The same information, presented in different ways, can lead to dramatically different responses. For example, imagine a doctor telling a patient that a particular surgery has a 90% survival rate. Now imagine the same doctor describing the surgery as having a 10% mortality rate. Statistically, these statements are identical, but the emotional impact and potentially the patient's decision could be very different. This principle extends far beyond medical decisions. In negotiations, sales, public speaking, or even personal relationships, how we frame our messages can have a profound impact on how they're received. Consider this: instead of telling a child, "Don't spill your milk," we might say, "Keep your cup steady." The first frame focuses on the negative outcome we want to avoid, while the second focuses on the positive action we want to encourage. Both convey the same basic idea, but the second is more likely to produce the desired behavior. Framing can also influence our perception of experiences. If we frame a challenging situation as an opportunity for growth rather than a hardship, we're more likely to approach it with resilience and creativity. So, how can we use this knowledge? First, by becoming more aware of how information is framed to us. When you encounter a persuasive message, whether it's an advertisement, a political speech, or a personal request, ask yourself, how is this information being framed? What alternative frames could be used? Secondly, we can use framing consciously in our own communication. When you have an important message to convey, consider different ways of framing it. How can you present your ideas in a way that resonates with your audience's values and experiences? As we reflect on these first 4 psychology hacks, mirroring, active listening, awareness of confirmation bias, and the power of framing, I want you to pause and consider how they interconnect. Each of these tools gives us a deeper understanding of human behavior and communication. They show us that the way we interact with the world is far more complex and nuanced than we often realize. But more importantly, they offer us practical ways to improve our relationships, make better decisions, and navigate the complexities of human interaction more effectively. As we move into the final 2 hacks, I encourage you to think about how you might apply what you've learned so far in your daily life. Remember, the goal isn't to manipulate or control others, but to foster genuine understanding and connection. These psychological insights are tools for empathy, not weapons for influence. As we prepare to explore our final 2 psychology hacks, I want you to reflect on this question: how have these insights changed your perception of your own thoughts and behaviors? Are you seeing patterns in your life that you hadn't noticed before? As we continue our journey into the depths of human psychology, we arrive at our 5th mind-blowing hack, the power of priming. Priming is a phenomenon where exposure to one stimulus influences our response to a subsequent stimulus, often without our conscious awareness. It's as if our minds are constantly being prepared for future experiences by our current ones, in ways we rarely notice. Imagine walking into a room where the scent of freshly baked cookies lingers in the air. Without realizing it, you might suddenly find yourself feeling more nostalgic, perhaps recalling childhood memories. This is priming at work. The scent has unconsciously activated certain neural pathways, influencing your emotional state and thought patterns. But priming goes far beyond just sensory experiences. The words we hear, the images we see, and even the physical sensations we feel can all serve as primers, subtly shaping our perceptions and behaviors. In one famous study, participants who were asked to unscramble sentences containing words related to the elderly, like Florida bingo or retirement, were found to walk more slowly when leaving the experiment room compared to those who unscrambled neutral words. The mere exposure to concepts associated with old age had primed their behavior. The implications of priming are profound. It suggests that our environment and recent experiences have a far greater impact on our thoughts and actions than we typically realize. This knowledge can be both empowering and sobering. On one hand, it means we can potentially influence our own mental states and those of others through careful curation of our environments. On the other hand, it reveals how susceptible we are to external influences that we may not even be aware of. So, how can we harness the power of priming in our daily lives? One way is to be more intentional about the stimuli we expose ourselves to. If you have an important presentation coming up, you might prime yourself for confidence by listening to empowering music or looking at images of successful public speakers. If you're trying to cultivate more compassion in your life, you could surround yourself with images or stories of kindness and altruism. But perhaps even more importantly, understanding priming can help us become more aware of the unconscious influences on our thoughts and behaviors. The next time you find yourself reacting strongly to a situation, pause and ask yourself what recent experiences might be priming my response. This level of self-awareness can be a powerful tool for personal growth and emotional regulation. Now, let's delve into our sixth and final psychology hack, the power of expectation, also known as the Pygmalion effect or self-fulfilling prophecy. This principle states that our expectations about a person, event, or outcome can actually influence that very person, event, or outcome to align with those expectations. The name Pygmalion effect comes from George Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion, in which a professor transforms a lower-class girl into a lady by treating her as one. In real life, this effect has been demonstrated in numerous studies across various fields. One of the most famous experiments showcasing this effect was conducted in a classroom setting. Teachers were told that certain students randomly selected were likely to be intellectual bloomers that year. By the end of the year, those students showed significantly greater intellectual gains than their classmates. The teachers' expectations had unconsciously influenced their behavior towards these students, providing more encouragement, attention, and opportunities, which in turn led to improved performance. But the power of expectation isn't limited to how we treat others. It profoundly affects how we view ourselves. When we expect to succeed, we're more likely to persist in the face of challenges, to seek out opportunities, and to notice evidence that confirms our expectation of success. Conversely, when we expect to fail, we're more likely to give up quickly, avoid taking risks, and focus on our shortcomings. This brings us to a crucial question: how are your expectations shaping your reality? Are you setting yourself up for success or limiting your potential with self-doubt? The beauty of understanding the Pygmalion effect is that it gives us a powerful tool for personal transformation. By consciously cultivating positive expectations both for ourselves and for others, we can create a virtuous cycle of improvement and growth. For instance, if you're learning a new skill, approach it with the expectation that you will master it, given time and effort. This positive expectation will likely lead you to practice more consistently, to seek out resources and mentorship, and to persevere through initial difficulties. All of these behaviors increase your chances of actually mastering the skill, thus fulfilling your initial expectation. Similarly, in your relationships with others, try to hold positive expectations for their capabilities and potential. This doesn't mean ignoring real issues or challenges, but rather approaching them with a growth mindset. Your belief in someone's potential can be a powerful catalyst for their growth and development. As we conclude our exploration of these 6 mind-blowing psychology hacks, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the journey we've taken together. We've delved into the subtle art of mirroring, the transformative power of active listening, the pervasive influence of confirmation bias, the critical importance of framing, the unconscious impact of priming, and the self-fulfilling nature of our expectations. Each of these psychological principles offers you as a unique lens through which to view human behavior, our own and others. They reveal the intricate dance between our conscious thoughts and unconscious processes, between our internal states and our external environment. But more than just theoretical concepts, these hacks provide us with practical tools for navigating the complexities of human interaction. They offer us ways to communicate more effectively, to build stronger relationships, to make better decisions, and to unlock our own potential. As you move forward from this moment, I encourage you to approach your daily interactions with a new sense of curiosity and awareness. Notice how these psychological principles play out in your life. Experiment with applying them consciously, always with the goal of fostering genuine understanding and positive growth. Remember, the goal isn't to manipulate or control others, but to create more meaningful connections and to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and those around us. These psychological insights are tools for empathy, not weapons for influence. In closing, I want to leave you with one final, profound question to ponder: how might your life change if you fully embraced these psychological insights? What new possibilities might open up for you in your personal relationships, your career, or your personal growth journey? The human mind is a realm of infinite complexity and potential. By understanding its workings a little better, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility. So go forth with this new knowledge, apply it wisely and compassionately, and watch as your understanding of yourself and the world around you begins to transform. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the human psyche. May your newfound insights serve as a catalyst for positive change in your life and in the lives of those around you.